Hello, hero collectors here. How's it going, everybody? Hope y'all are doing fantastic. I know I am in a little bit of a different video from my normal reviews and unboxings, but this is a Kitbash kind of collection of 4 different Wolverine figures that I have made recently. In this, we're just going to go over what it took to make them, why I decided to make them, some limitations that doing this can be, and how you can take it a step further if you want. I just did these kit bashes. Some of these you can actually like paint up or do a little bit more to make it a little bit more accurate, but this is just what I have as is. And I'll go over the recipe as well. I've got a few figure examples that I can show what it took to make these. And then at the end, I'll just kind of go over the why. Like I said earlier, I'll go over why I made each one, and then I'll show the pictures that I took of these figures because of course I had to take pictures because I was having a blast with these. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, to start out, let's go over the one you might have already seen on the channel. I did this in the unboxing for the Wolverine figure, but basically all it is you take the House of X Wolverine body. As you can see, I've got a second one here, and you take the fire claws and head from the original Wolverine. This is just the base body. I don't have anything else on it because it only came with a set of fists as the accessories. And you just swap and put it on the House of X body. So something you can do to take this a bit further, since I just swapped the hands, there is a bit of a color difference. They don't quite match the browns here. It doesn't bother me too much, in all honesty, but if it's something that does bother you, you'd probably have to remove these claws and transplant them onto the hands that come with the original House of X Wolverine. But otherwise, everything pops on just fine. The head doesn't have any issue popping onto the ball of the neck, and these hands pop in just fine. So it's a simple swap that looks really good and more accurate to the proper Wolverine costume in the comics. Next up, we have my more casual Patch figure. Now, when you say Patch in regards to Wolverine, most people will think this costume. And up until recently, I would say within the last 5 years, he never really wore that costume in the books. It was mainly just that iconic cover. Now, I could be wrong. There might be an obscure issue somewhere where he does actually wear this. But for the most part, when I was reading the original Wolverine comic, he's in casual garb, usually even wearing a cowboy hat on top of having the eye patch. So I decided to make this with the 2-pack patch that came with Joe Fixit and the Old Man Logan figure from, I want to say, 2017. This is the single release, not the one that came with the Old Man Hawkeye. So all I did was I took the alternate head from this patch figure, popped it onto this body, and then I took a set of claws. It could easily be the claws that came with this patch, but I want to say these were a movie set of hands, but these are my preferred claws for any Wolverine, in all honesty. There's a few others that are decent, but I'm never going back to those old claws that he had back before. It was even before 2017 with the Apocalypse figure. It was those flimsy claws that never actually lined up properly with his fists. But something to note about this swap, the heads between these two figures, or the ball on the neck pegs, I should say, is just slightly different. So you can pop this head on just fine, but it's going to stretch out the actual port in the head. So if you want to put this head back on here, it's going to be very loose. It'll still pop on, but it'll be loose and kind of flops around. So if you are wanting to do the swap fully, you either have to accept the fact that it'll be loose, or you might have to Dremel out part of the actual port in the head to make it fit properly. It can still articulate and everything as is, but it is a limitation when doing this swap. Now on to the last of the actual comic-based kit bashes here. We have Akihiro as Fang. Now, not directly a Wolverine custom, but Wolverine's son, so it's Wolverine adjacent. He had this costume, I believe, towards the later half of the House of X era. And this is a pretty simple swap as well. You take the Fang base body, remove a lot of the extra kind of necklaces and belts and just little tooth garbs on the body, remove the head, swap out the hands, and port on the hands from this figure and alternate head. Whoops. But then you get Fang as he appears in the comics. Now, it's not 100% the costume. He's got some different design work. Like, I think it's got some spikes, and the black strip doesn't go all the way down the legs like this figure does, but you could, of course, take it a bit further, do the proper paint. I'm okay with just kit bashing this. Going back to the Wolverine, the fists don't quite match here, so you can, paint up this fist or paint up the glove that goes up the forearm. That's up to you if you want to take it any further. I'm happy as it is like this. It doesn't bother me too much that it's not quite there. But yeah, that is about it for Fang. And now last but certainly not least, we have Forced Fight Logan, the only movie figure I have in this video. This one is, again, another pretty simple swap. So you have a couple options here for the base body. So this is the original Tank Top Logan base body, but I did get this, the reissue, the Legacy Collection from the Deadpool movie, Tank Top Logan. I swapped to the bone claws that came with this figure back onto this guy and the head as well, so I could use the original base body to make this. And the head and claws come from the actual Logan from the Professor X and Logan 2-pack figure, which doesn't have the most accurate head sculpts in my opinion, and especially for this fight, this particular moment that I'm trying to capture, it doesn't capture the exact like facial hair look, but I'm still pretty happy with it. You could, of course, take this a step further if you are keen on painting. Of course, you can paint some blood on the tank top, or if you want to customize a bit further, you can edit the facial hair and whatnot, or take a different Wolverine head sculpt and, customize it from there to be a little bit more accurate in terms of likeness. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It gives me an excuse to have a bloodied up Logan while also having one that's taking care of Charles on the shelf. So, of course, I'm going to really enjoy having as many Wolverines on my movie shelf as I can because I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. So now is the point in the video where I'm just going to ramble on a little bit while I let the picture slides kind of go through. I'm just going to talk about why I made each of these and where they'll go in my collection now that I have them. So starting off with Logan from the Logan movie, ever since we got that 2-pack, I've been wanting to do the swap, but that tank top Logan original figure got really expensive on the aftermarket. So when we got the Legacy re-release, it was, ooh, perfect excuse to now do this custom. So now I can finally have this look on the shelf. I'll take as many movie Wolverines as they can give us. I even have the one from the Deadpool and Wolverine movie that's, not even accurate to the bar scene, but is supposed to be the bar scene look proudly on my display. So I'm a sucker for a Hugh Jackman Wolverine figure and an excuse to have more on my display, so why not this look as well? It's such an iconic moment from the movie. Yeah, I could take it a step further, but I'm not really trusting myself with paint, in all honesty, and I think it's satisfying that need for me as is. On to Wolverine, it was just as simple. The Hasbro release wasn't accurate, so in my mind, I just had to upgrade him. So I tracked down a spare House of X body so I could do the swap, and it worked out. It's not perfect. Again, those glove colors aren't, completely matching, but for me, it doesn't really matter. This figure will go on my mystical shelf next to the Ghost Riders just because I can, and it gives me an excuse to have another Wolverine in another display. I think I'm going for the record here of, can I have at least one Wolverine in each display of my collection? Then on to Fang, we don't get very many Akihiro figures or Dark Wolverine figures, so the fact that we have these options with the multiple heads and hands, I can use those for other looks. And I bought 2 of the Dark Wolverine so that I could have all those options, and just because I wanted to begin with. And this just kind of worked out perfectly. So to have this either with my X-Men or with my House of X figures, it's just a nice way to have him spread out throughout the X-Men world a bit more than just the 2 figures we've gotten in the past 12 years, 13 years, something like that. Then on to Patch, it was simply, well, I know that everybody imagines the iconic white tux for Patch, but I was reading the books last year and went, we need a casual look for Patch. So it was a simple, might as well just do it. Yeah, I might throw up a picture here and there of what he actually looks like in the comics for comparison, just so you can have an idea. And something I did forget to mention is that the head does sit kind of high on the ball joint, but not high enough to where it ruins the patch swap. It just, you have to get the right angle when you do eventually pose or display him. Alright, and that was kind of my Kitbash custom Marvel Legend Wolverine related figures showcase video. Let me know down in the comments below if you like these custom figures. Let me know if you plan to make them or have already made them for your collection. And while you're down there, make sure you like the video and or subscribe, because I do have more customs planned. I need to get going, get some more pieces, get some work done on them, because I have a few that need paint removed that are going to be a little bit more involved. So it might be a while. I'm still trying to catch up on other figures, but I do have other customs planned for the future. It's just a matter of getting to them. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you do all the things that you should do on YouTube, and I will talk to you all in another video, another post, another time.